Hari Om. Starting with invocation, let us chant from verses 26 to 30 of Atma Bodha. Pratah smarami hridi samspuradatmatattvam Satthe sukham paramaham sagatim turiyam Yasvapna jagara sushuptamaveti nityam Tad brahma nishkalamaham nacha bhuta sangaha Atmano vikriya nasti Buddhir bodho na jatiti Jibhas sarvamalam jnatva Jnata drishteti muhyati Rajju sarpavadhatmanam Jivo jnatva bhayam vahe Naham jibha paratmeti Jnatashched nirbhayo bhave Atma vabhasayat yekaha Buddhyadinindriyanyapi Deepo ghathati vasvatma Jataisthairnavabhasyate Svabodhe nanyabodhe cha Bodharupatayatmanaha Nadhipasyanyadhipe cha Yatha swatma prakashane Nishidhya nikilopadhin Neti neti tivakyataha Vidhyadaikyam mahavakyaihi Jivatma paramatmanoho
Om Pratasmarami hridi samspuradatmatattvam Satchit sukham paramaham sagatim turiyam Yat swapna jagara sushuptamaveti nityam Tad brahma nishkalamaham nacha bhuta sangha Verse number 26. We finished verse number 25. Isn't it? Avivekena. Yeah. We are moving into verse number 26. Atmano vikriya nasti buddher bodho na jatviti jiva sarvamalam jnatva jnata drashteti muhyati. Atmano vikriya nasti buddher bodho na jatviti jiva sarvamalam jnatva jnate drashteti muhyati. Atman does not undergo modification. Intellect is never endowed with knowledge. An individual not having known it at all becomes deluded with notions of I am seer, I am knower. Previous verse, he said, the knowing itself is reflected consciousness. Knowing itself is an action. Knowing itself is an action of the intellect. The action of the senses is to perceive. The action of the mind is to feel. The action of the intellect is to say. You are sure to show a diagram of refraction of light. Oh, I said I show you a refraction diagram also, is it? Or I didn't remind Venkat. Venkat, do you have it? Oh, he's prepared more than he's prepared than me actually. If you can show the diagram, please. From the indiscriminate union, I'm just referring back to the previous verse because the diagram is from the previous verse and it is and it flows on to this verse also. Don't worry, it will flow into this. It will flow into this verse also. So you see the incident ray and the reflected ray in the diagram. The knowing principle is the incident ray. When it strikes the mind, the pool of thoughts, the incident ray gets reflected. That reflected ray combined the pure consciousness, when it strikes the pool of thoughts, combined with the thought, gets reflected and getting reflected as I know. So the incident ray is the knowing principle, the reflected ray is the known, and the mind is the pool of thoughts. Before the incident ray strikes, it is unknown. The pool of thoughts, the mind is unknown. The thoughts doesn't have any sentiency. The thoughts doesn't have any strength by itself before the consciousness strikes it. As soon as the consciousness strikes it, the incident ray, the reflected ray, as soon as the consciousness strikes it, it gets reflected. How does it get reflected? There arises the notion, I know. Aham janami. The previous verse, he said this. Samyojya cha vivekena janami iti pravartate. Janami. Janami means I know. Aham. The word aham is implied here. Aham janami. I know. From the indiscriminate union. How to describe the indiscriminate union? The incident ray and the reflected ray explains it. The incident ray and the reflected ray is the diagram. Is it okay, Shankar? Sir,
I mean, come again on incident ray and reflected ray, sir.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah. The incident ray is the pure consciousness. The incident ray is the pure consciousness. Reflected ray is the consciousness enlivening a thought, wherein you become aware of I know. Now, where does this pure consciousness doesn't have any particular knowledge? It is an enlivening factor of knowledge. So when you say I know, you are having a When you say I know, it's a particular knowledge. Knowing as in enlivening factor. When you say I know, whenever you say I know, you refer to a particular knowledge. The moment you refer to a particular knowledge, now don't get carried away by analyzing the knowledge and all that. Here, the discussion is the knowing. The moment you say janami, the moment you use the word janami, I know. That's how I started today. The moment you say janami, I know, that knowing is an action. Wherever there is an action, there is a substratum that is supporting that action. That we have seen already. Wherever there is an action, we have seen that there is a substratum already supporting it. And what is that substratum? That aham is the substratum, janami is the kriya, knowing is the action, aham is the substratum. And that aham, that I is common for perception, that I is common for everything. So when we say here knowledge is not referring to a particular branch of knowledge. What is meant by knowledge here is I am aware of my perceptions. I am aware of my emotions. I am aware of my thoughts. I have done this. I should not have done this. I should do this. I didn't do this. So all this is knowing. No, what is knowing? Please understand, knowing in this Atmabodha context is not referring to knowing a particular subject. Because whenever we talk about knowledge, we always have the misunderstanding that we equate it to a particular branch of knowledge. We equate it to a particular branch of field of inquiry. Are you able to follow till now, Shankar? Unnecessarily, he is dragging me into the discussion which I didn't want to bring it out. He is dragging me into that. Because it's slightly, not that I didn't want to do, I think it's a bit technical as it is. Atmabodha looks like we don't know what we are studying in Atmabodha, and if we get more and more technical, it will look like what are we? First is when he says knowledge here doesn't refer to a branch of knowledge. It's not like knowing physics, chemistry, or anything. So what is knowing here? I know the actions. I am aware of the actions. I am aware of all the actions of all the instruments. That is knowing. I know. I know that I perceive. I know that I feel. I know that I understand. I don't understand. So all this are knowing, action. All this is action. Wherever there is an action, we have said it, there has to be a adharam, there has to be a base supporting it. Wherever there is an enlivening fact, wherever the bulb illumines, there has to be something that is illuminating. There has to be something that is illuminating. So the illuminator versus the bulb versus the electricity. Now we use the bulb and the electricity. The traditional Shastra, they use the example. Hot iron ball. You know, iron is not hot. When it comes in contact with the fire, it It borrows the quality of the fire and it appears to be hot. After a while, when the fire is, when you stop feeding the fire, the iron returns back to it. So when we say hot iron, it means what? It is supported by fire. Similarly, when we say bulb, it is supported by
Electricity.
electricity. So instead of using the hot iron ball example nowadays, we use the electricity and the bulb. So there is the awareness of perceptions, there is the awareness of emotions, and there is an awareness of what you know and what you
Do not know.
do not know. All this is called actions. All put together is called action. Are you okay till now? And this action is supported by,
Principle.
there is something that is supporting it. Why it is called as indiscriminate union? It's called indiscriminate union because the actionless is appearing to do some action. I didn't want to say this sentence. I wanted some of you to derive it by yourself. The actionless appears to do variety of actions like perception, emotion, and thinking. How can the actionless appear to be performing action? It is not possible. Therefore, he calls it as the indiscriminate union. But from where does it arise? Which he has already exposed. It arises because of superimposition. It arises because of the superimposition. From verse number 6 to, I think, 5 to 16, we covered that. How the superimposition has happened. Now he says, it is the because of the superimposition, the actionless appears to be performing action. So he goes one by one. He goes at the level of the perception, he goes at the level of the emotions, and he goes at the level of the intellect to say, this is the Kriya, but Atman has nothing to do with it. This is the action, but Atman has nothing to do with it. So whenever he says Atman has nothing to do with it, Atman has got nothing to do with it, you have to hear it as brainwashing is completely. Yeah. Whenever you say Atman has got nothing to do with it, you have to hear it as I have nothing to do with it. I have nothing to do with it. Why? Because you are the Atman. Is it okay now? This is the message. So for you to say I know, ahankara is playing. Whenever they say I know, the ego has come into existence. For it is the ego that says I know. Aham janami. Who says that? The ego says that. So in the worldly sense, if the person says I know, those days they used to do that. No, nowadays nobody does it. But I remember, no, in my father days, whenever anybody gets a university degree, they will frame it and they will frame it. No, nowadays nobody. Nowadays, even my generation also people stop doing it. But then I'm talking, in my father's generation, I see they get a degree and they frame it and they next to the wedding photograph. There will be two things. One is the degree framed, another is the wedding photograph framed. Yeah. So in the worldly sense, if you say, I know, you are considered a wise person. In Vedanta, if you say, I know, you are considered deluded. In the worldly sense, if you say, I know, you are considered very, very wise because you know, you have a, if you put a degree, doctor, A few doctors are there, PhDs. Yeah. Doctor. And when they put the doctor, wow, wise. In Vedanta, if you say I know, that I know is coming from that I know is coming from ahankar, the ego. It means you have deteriorated. It means there is a deterioration. It's a delusion. That is why all knowledge is born out of delusion, they say. All knowledge is born of delusion. Sir, you don't know anything about any subject, any field, how much hard work is happening, how much of advancement is happening, how much of research goes into it, how much of things that has come out of all this. Not having a clue to any of the hard work done by people and this and that, you simply say it is delusion. I am not saying, Shankaracharya is saying. Whenever you say I know na, Krishna is saying. Whenever Upanishad is saying I know na, it is of delusion. Are you able to follow? It is of delusion. And what is the delusion? You recognize that you are the knower of something and need to know more, or have known enough. There is no need to know anything more. All this is of the intellect. Action happening at the level of the intellect. So what? For action means action is born of ignorance. If action is born of ignorance, the action of I know also is born of ignorance. So whenever we say action is born of ignorance, we think action is born of ignorance means, okay, wrong actions is born of ignorance. No. Right action is born of knowledge only. No, sir. The moment you say I know, reflected ray is, now what the reflected ray says doesn't matter. Whatever the reflected ray says is delusion. This is Vedanta. This is Atma Bodha. This is Bhagavad. Vedanta is that. Atma Bodha, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, all talk about the same thing. The moment you say I know, that I know itself, you have identified with an action, and that action means superimposition. Action means superimposition. Now don't ask what is superimposition. Huh? Don't worry, as soon as we finish this Atma Bodha, we will start another cycle of Atma Bodha only. So we will do what is superimposition. We will do what is superimposition again. Shankar, okay? Avardhan getter.
Okay, sir. Okay.
The I can never know anything by itself. The pure I doesn't know anything in particular, for it is an enlivening factor. The pure I. Buddhi by itself, the pool of thoughts by itself also, cannot know anything. Therefore, when the pure consciousness strikes it, the incident ray, the mishram happens, the mixture happens. Mishra means mixture. What is the mixture? The mixture of ahankara. What is the ahankara? I know. The mixture happens. What is the mixture? The mixture of I I know, which is ahankara. This is what he's saying. Are you able to understand what is he mean by saying the indiscriminate union? Because one of the few important verses in Atma Bodha, I won't say all verses are important, where there is no example given. In all the verses you would have seen till now examples. Don't worry, from the next verse also he will continue with each and every verse. He will give one example. Here is a very unique verse in the Atma Bodha. There are a couple more verses like that. Where he doesn't bring in an example, where the point is conveyed directly without a upamana, where you have to sit and do manana. Upamana makes you to understand straight away. Where there is no upamana, you have to sit and do extra bit of manana, extra bit of reflection is required where there is no example. Here is such a verse that is requiring that. How does it work? This verse explains it very clearly. So it's a connection. All that gets connected here. This verse means verse number 26. Atmano vikriya na asti. The Atman does not undergo modification. Vikriya. For kriya means modification. Action means modification, and modification means temporary, impermanent, changing. Kriya means action, and action means what? Action means change. Action means impermanent. Are you able to understand this? Action itself means change. Action itself means impermanent. So all that is born of action will be like action only. All that is born of action. And what is kriya? Action. Atmanaha vikriyaha. It doesn't undergo na asti. It doesn't undergo modification. For action means modification. Action means modification. What are the modifications? What are the modifications that happens through action? What are the modifications that happens through action? Birth, growth, disease, decay, death. Birth, growth, disease, decay, death. These are the modifications that happens through action. So first thing that you have to understand is action. Action means modification. And what are the modifications? The modifications of birth, growth, disease, decay, death. Birth, growth, disease, decay, death. Birth, growth, disease, decay, death. Modifications. Yeah. COVID-19. இப்போ 20 சொல்லணும் இல்லையா? 19 முடிஞ்சு போய் 20 கூட முடிய போகுது. You have to say COVID-19, 20, 21, 22. You have, I don't know how long we are going to give. Modification. Something keeps changing. So kriya means action. Action means modification. Atman does not undergo modification. Atmanaha vikriya nasti. If Atman also goes through modification, then what do we do? Yeah. If God is also born, if God also grows, then what do we do? Yeah. If God is also born, if God also grows, yeah. That is why in our Krishna Jayanti, Krishna never grows. You know that, no? Even 5,000 years later also, when we are doing Krishna Jayanti, Krishna's feet is 5,000-year-old man abdina, how you should put adult feet and then two walking stick also next to each other, no? Yeah. But then even today, how do we put Krishna's feet? Baby, he doesn't grow at all. Yeah, because it doesn't undergo Atmanaha Vikriya Nasti. It doesn't undergo modification. For modification belongs to action, and action is born out of delusion. So first thing, Atman does not undergo modification. Intellect is never endowed with knowledge. Everybody will get very upset with this statement, because all along we keep saying intellect, grow, strengthen. And then he's saying intellect is never endowed with knowledge. We follow this verse of Atma Bodha, sir. That is why we don't strengthen we don't develop our intellect at all. We don't strengthen our intellect at all. Shankaracharya, verse number 26, Atma Bodha, has said it very clearly. What? He is never endowed with knowledge. An individual not having known it at all becomes deluded with notions. I am seer, I am knower. Now, the intellect is never endowed with knowledge, meaning the intellect by itself doesn't have the capacity to know unless it is enlivened by the self. Previous verse, connected to the previous verse. Are you able to follow? Intellect is never endowed with knowledge. Knowledge already. What did we say already? Knowledge means knowledge is not the branch of, it is not information about a particular branch. Knowledge means the intellect by itself cannot know anything unless it is enlivened. Unless it is enlivened. Are you okay till now? Out of delusion, the Buddhiman, the intelligent person says, I know. Out of delusion, the Buddhiman, the intelligent person says, I know. And consciousness will be smiling at that person when he says, I know. Because why? If that enlivening factor goes away, knowledge, intellect by itself cannot know, just as the eyes by itself cannot see. See, when he says the intellect, what you have to understand is all the instruments. It's not just the intellect is talking. When he talks about the subtlest, down the line, all instruments are implied. It's not only the intellect. So whenever, since he's talking about the subtlest, what is the subtlest? Intellect is the subtlest. So when he says at the level of the intellect that the intellect is never endowed with knowledge, it means mind is never endowed with emotions. Mind cannot do its action by itself. Intellect cannot do its action by itself. The senses cannot do their actions by themselves. They cannot do it by themselves, and they need this enlivening factor. Who is a deluded person? He has defined it very clearly. Who is the deluded person? The deluded is one having known it all, an individual not having known. Individual not having known. What is that individual doesn't know? What is it that I do not know? There is the enlivening factor that is supporting. Buddhi deludes itself to say, I am the knower. The mind deludes itself to say, I am the feeler. The senses deludes itself to say, I am the perceiver, actor. For the senses perceive acts, the mind feels, the intellect thinks, knows. Out of delusion, what is delusion? What is delusion? A fellow buys a house. Obvious, on loan only. It is obvious. You don't have to say that anymore. When a person buys something, loan and rather, it is straight away known. So you don't have to say buying on loan anymore, because buying loan. So the fellow buys a house. Obviously on loan. Even before you can even see your registered document, the bank fellow comes and the bank fellow will come and take it away from you. Yeah. And the fellow does the Graha Pravesha. What is the Graha Pravesha? Calling it as my house. Not even thinking. The bank manager should have been called at least for the Graha Pravesha, because he is also the owner of the house. No, who's the owner? Rendu owner. Who are the two owners? Yeah. That's why when you are living in a house, anything that is loaned, don't say mine. It is not yours. Who owns it now? Somebody is owning. And who is that somebody? We really don't know. Bank. So, few years back, my friend, he called and said, hey, Graha Pravesha, you must come. You must come. You must come. I told him, class, I can't leave the class and come for Graha Pravesha. During the day, sometime I will come. That's all. It's a good thing that you bought the house. No. You have to come. This, the why. Just to irritate friend, no, you can irritate class students, because I can't irritate, I can't afford you, I can't afford to irritate you all. What will I do? Next week, empty screen, what will I do? Yeah, so I can't irritate you all. But friend, no, you can irritate. You can, yeah. All the frustration you can show on them only, no. Then I said, okay, but yaar ukara poranga? I said, yaar ukandu panna poranga? He is irritated now, because when I'm asking this question, my friend is getting irritated. Poor lady, the wife didn't know what I'm asking. Means she said, no, we be only going to say, is your husband next to you? I say, yes, give it to him. Speaker, I asked him, is it on speaker? Yes, it is on speaker. I said, this is what I also want. I said, I also want it to be on. Hey, owner, it is not even your house. Indian Overseas Bank ownership house, why will I waste my time and come for Graha Pravesha for that? I said, Indian Overseas Bank is owning that house. Why am I going to waste my time to come for Indian Overseas Bank owned house? Indian Overseas employees must go to that. I said, why will I go? Only they should go. I will not go. That fellow was telling his wife, see, that's why I told you, don't invite this fellow. After all this is over, now we can't even sit with peace of mind for Graha Pravesha. Delusion. This is delusion. What is the delusion? To say, I am the, you say I am the owner when you are not the owner. You are not the owner. But then you genuinely believe that you are the owner. Yeah. This is called, what is this called? Moha, delusion. That's what he's saying here. The senses borrowing the vitality from the Atman The mind, intellect borrowing the vitality from that, instead of recognizing he is the one who's doing everything, it says, I do. I do. Are you able to follow the delusion now? It's so easy to explain now, this thing, because everybody has gotten loans, no? Everybody has gotten loans, and there cannot be a happy borrower. It is impossible. There cannot be one person who has borrowed and lived happily ever after. It is not possible. Similarly, a person who's deluded can never be happy on. Yeah. Bank, because of COVID, government gave 6 months of, in our word where what is that word?
Amortization.
Correct. I don't know even how to pronounce that. Because I also applied for loan. Nobody wanted to give me. Nobody wanted to give me a loan. And they all thought 6 months freedom from loan. They all thought it is freedom. Freedom in the 6 months freedom, you will be bound for another 1 year. You take this freedom for if you take the freedom for 6 months, your bondage increases by double, increases by triple. Yeah. So what is delusion? Where the bondage is going to increase, you think it is freedom. Yeah, are you able to follow? Where your bondage is going to increase, and people are waiting for Supreme Court is going to say something on 5th about this also now, and they are all waiting for this also. Another 3 months of freedom Supreme Court will give. Not 3 months of freedom, Allah. Another 6 months of bondage. What would you call this as? This is called delusion. This is called delusion. Now, I am not talking economics. I really do not know anything about economics, nor am I talking politics. I have nothing to do with all that. And how it is borrowed and thinks it is the owner. How it thinks that it has borrowed and thinks that it is the owner is what here is describing. It is borrowed. It is borrowed. The senses borrow the vitality from Atman. Therefore, whenever it says, I see, what should the eyes say? I am seeing, supported by the self. I am hearing, supported by the self. I am feeling, supported by the self. I am saying I know or I don't know, supported by the self. When you keep repeating it any number of times like this, then there is a kind of vijugupsa in you. Then there is a kind of irritation in you that will develop. What is the irritation that will develop? Borrowed. When will I say? When will I say I am the owner, undisputed owner, where nobody can come and take it away, claim it back? Instead of saying, I am enlivened by the Atman, you can say, I enliven. Delusion goes. Delusion goes. Instead of saying, I am the bulb enlivened by electricity, you can say, I am the electricity enlivening the bulb. The deluded. What is the delusion? It deludes itself to be the doer and enjoyer. This is the classic Vedantic knowledge. This is the classic Vedantic terminology. Kartrutvam, Bhoktrutvam. Kartrutvam and Bhoktrutvam. The doer and doer, Bhoktru, Bhokta, Karta and Bhokta. Kartrutvam and Bhoktrutvam. Doership and enjoyership. Enjoyership means enjoying, experiencing the consequences of the doing. So Karta, yeah. So the Karta and Bhokta, Kartrutvam and Bhoktrutvam. Reflected face you don't claim as my face. You say that is reflection. He's saying. Don't look at the reflected face and claim the reflected face as my face. He gives a beautiful example of the mirror. He says it so beautifully. You see it there, but understand it here. The mirror example. Any number of times he gives the mirror example. No, you see it there, but you understand it here. In the mirror, you see the reflection there, but then you don't claim the reflection as mine. Don't get focused on the reflection as mine. Don't get attached to the reflection as mine. This is delusion. Kartrutvam and Bhoktrutvam. When mind comes, transactions start. When mind dissolves, transactions dissolve. When mind comes, there is the reflection. When mind is not there, there is no reflection. Now don't ask where did the mind come from. That we have already explained. It is a superimposition. When the transaction ends, you don't end. Transaction starts, you don't start. When transactions end, you don't end. Starting of transaction is the starting of superimposition. The end of transaction means the end of superimposition. But you remain the same. Are you able to follow? What is delusion? Delusion is this. A person who says, I am a samsari, I am bound, I need to do this, I need to do that, I don't know what to do to get out of this bondage, crying and suffering and all this is superimposition. Or you are the pure consciousness. You are the pure consciousness now. Aham karta, aham bhokta, aham samsari, I am bound. All this is out of delusion. This is Atma Bodha. All this is out of delusion. I am the pure consciousness. On my support, the intellect knows something, the intellect doesn't know something. But what the intellect knows and what the intellect doesn't know belongs to the intellect. It's not of the Atman, the self, me. Jivaha sarvamalam jnatva. Sarvam is sarvam alam. Here is sarvam alam, not malamna. Don't take it as dirt here. Sarvam alam. So combined becomes sarvam alam. So jiva sarvam alam jnatva Jnata drashteti muhyati. Classic Vedantic terms. Jnatva, jnata. Jnatva means having the known, the knowledge. Jnata, the knower. The knower, the knowledge, and then something that enlivens. Something that enlivens. Enlivens what? Enlivens the object and enlivens the subject. What is the subject? Body, mind, intellect is the subject. What is the object? The world is the object. So there is something that enlivens the subject and there is something that enlivens the object, and both interacts, not recognizing that we both are vitalized by the Atman. Both don't recognize. Now here we can't talk about the objects recognizing. We can talk about only you, the subject. Therefore we say you recognize it. That is liberation. Liberation from what? Liberation from self-imposed limitation. Liberation from self-imposed limitation. Freedom from imaginary bondage. That's where it is so difficult. That's why knowledge alone can get rid of the free. Knowledge alone can give you liberation, because the bondage is imaginary. How can you imagine like this, sir? How can you imagine like that? When HDFC is the owner, you put your name as the owner. No. Who's the actual owner? HDFC is the owner. But then you put your name as the owner. What is it called? This is called delusion. This is called delusion. The moment you recognize that not only you are not the owner, not only when you take a loan, not only you have to work for your family, you have to work for the bank also. When you take a loan, you don't work only for your family after that. You have to work for whom? Yeah. Shailesh Seth, you have to work. Yeah. So yeah, because he's the banker. Yeah, he's the banker. So banker utted insurance maru porar. Adi innu danger. Yeah. He's a banker, from banker to insurance. So when you borrow, you don't only you don't have to work for your own family after that. You have to work for. And when you see bank making profits, you can't go and tell the bank that give me a share. You can't say. The bank will say, get lost. Also, when you are in trouble, the bank will not say, I am supporting you. When you are in trouble, what the bank will do? Every day, every day they will sit in front of your house, calling you. With all this, the person goes and borrows. What would you call that person? Knows economics, huh? Wise person, huh? People believe it's a wise person. You don't know economics, sir. Economics grows, prosperity grows only by borrowing. Nothing will grow. Correct. Who will grow? God only knows who's growing. No. God only knows who's growing. Kenopanishad gives a beautiful story. Part 3 of the Kenopanishad gives a beautiful story. The story of Kenopanishad is, the story of Kenopanishad is more complicated than the original. Somebody said something now. Who's that Rajagopala Krishnan? K.R. Rajagopala Krishnan. You can buy their share for getting their profits. Destroy others' family. Yeah, I will not destroy my family. We will destroy the families of others. Where is he? K.R. Rajagopala Krishnan. I can't see him. No. I am all right, sir. But take all the dirt and put it in the neighbor's compound. My house is. If it is detrimental to you, it is detrimental to. If poison is poisonous to you, it is poisonous to everybody. So don't go and buy their shares also. That's Shankar the idea. You can contact SRL Shankar for this. He will give ideas how to. That's president and the association is president. Yeah. I call him president of Destructive Association. Yeah. But they call themselves Investors Association. That is their thing. They call themselves Investors Association. I say Destructive Association. Dussangar. Shankar, correct? SRL Shankar. Sariya tappa? Kena Upanishad gives a story. There is a very beautiful story in Kena Upanishad. The Devas won the battle. Devas and Asuras are constantly fighting with each other. We know that. Yeah, the good and bad. There is always the conflict fight between good and bad. Mostly the bad wins. Very rarely the good wins. And whenever the good wins, they throw a party. And they were having a party. Devas, after winning, they had a fight. They were having a party. And what is the party? We won. We won. All enemies are destroyed. And suddenly they saw one yaksha, a form, kind of. Like Rajinikanth says in Chandramukhi, Poga Madri something. Yeah. Yeah, that's what he says. Poga Madri something is there. Really, you don't know what it is. Like like a yaksha, it is there. Looking at that, they thought one more enemy is still left and they have come for fighting. So Indra sends his deputies, find out who they are. Find out who they are. Vayu goes. Vayu, the deputy of Indra, goes. Looks at the apparition and asks, who are you? And the apparition asks Vayu back, who are you? He says, I am Vayu. All powerful. Vayu. Vayu, the wind god. I am Vayu, the all powerful wind god. Oh, what can you do? Just now I told you I am Vayu, all powerful god. We are asking, what can you do? Yeah. Have you not seen the tornadoes? Have you not seen the videos? How the whole house, the car, everything flies. Have you not seen that? That is infinitesimal of my power. I am Vayu. Oh, you have so much of power. Yes. Apparition puts a blade of grass in front and say, move this grass. Move this grass. And Vayu couldn't move it. Accepting its defeat, accepting its inability, it goes back and reports to Indra, the mind, saying that I don't know who it is. Indra sent Agni. Find out, go and find out who that person is. Agni came. Organ of perception, organ of action. Can't do anything with God. That's what it means. Agni came. He asked, who are you? Agni asked the apparition, who are you? The apparition in turn asked Agni, who are you? Agni said, I am Jatavedas. I am all-knowing. I burn everything. Again, the same story. Apparition put the blade of grass in front, burn it. Agni could not even touch it. Accepting the defeat, it went. Indra, humbled, comes now. Indra, humbled, comes in front of the apparition. As soon as Indra comes in front of the apparition disappears. Part 4 starts. Season 1 episode over. Part 3 over. Apparition disappears. Then season 2 starts. Apparition doesn't reappear. Haimavatim, it says. Haimavatim. Haimavati means Uma. Umana, the daughter of the Himalayas. Haimavatim appears. And then she said, Indra, Vayu, Agni, all of you were rejoicing, all of you were holding the party, but you didn't call the most important person. Who is the most important person? The enlivening factor. The enlivening factor you forgot. That enlivening factor is Brahman. That enlivening factor, why Uma comes? Because only the Shastra like Atma Bodha can teach about that. That's where the apparition disappears and Uma comes. Uma comes and says, Haimavati. Are you able to follow? Same idea. The same story. The same idea. What is it? Out of delusion, you say Karta and Bhokta. Bhokta blames the Karta. Bhokta blames the modifier, not realizing that both are deluded. There is no Karta, there is no Bhokta. Bhokta, see, while you are experiencing something, you blame yourself, no? I don't know why I did it and I'm suffering now. You say that, no? The experiencer blames the experiencer blames the doer, as though doer is some different entity. You are the doer, and as you are the doer, you split yourself into the experiencer, experiencing the consequences of your doing. Both is of delusion. What is the delusion? A delusion where a combination of two cannot happen. A combination of two cannot happen. In the commentary, he gives the example of, he gives the story of Margaret and Merman, the story. If you have not read that story, don't worry. In the commentary, that story is there. The story of Margaret and Merman. A girl named Margaret fell in love with Merman. Merman na half fish, half man. Yeah. Creature, sea creature. Margaret is the human being. Yeah, human being, and thus cannot. She fell in love with that, and since she fell in love with that, and she has to go where he goes, and she also went along with the fellow, lived in the ocean, having produced 7 children now. Having produced seven children now, one day she heard the sound of the church bell. That's the story. One day she heard the sound of the church bell. She has been hearing it every day, but on that particular day, she actually heard it. She responded to that and went into the church. So absorbed in the spiritual atmosphere of the church, she recognized what? She recognized that her place is here, not in the, she recognized her place is here, not in the ocean, not in the sea, along with the imaginary man and the 6 children you produced along with that imaginary person. Why? Because the marriage of Margaret and Merman is an impossible thing. Can it happen? Cannot happen. Margaret and Merman cannot marry. But then you read the story, you actually will start thinking that. You actually will start thinking that they got married, they had children, blah, 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 all that. Because of that is delusion. The 6 children produced is what? What is the 6 children produced? He gives the list. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Bhaya. The 6 children. The 6 children that is born out of the indiscriminate illusory union. What are the 6 children? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Bhaya. Is the 6 children born out of the illusory union of Margaret and a man. In reality, these two cannot. In reality, these two cannot. In reality, these two cannot combine. But it appears to have combined and produced also. That is called moha delusion. And how does this moha and delusion manifest in life? This moha delusion manifests in life as in aham karta, aham bhokta. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. I have said it already. The Sanskrit classic word is bhokta. In the modern day language, you understand it as I am the experiencer. Enjoyer means experiencing. So I am the doer, I am the experiencer. The notion that you have that I am the doer. Because you think that you are the doer, you want to do something, you don't want to do something else, and you have done that which you don't want to do, and you come and ask what is the prayaschitta also for that. Yeah. First is you believe you are the doer. Second is you believe that you should do something, and then you believe that you should not do something. And then third is you believe that you did that which you should not done. And then you will come and ask what is the prayaschitta. And I will also tell you this is the prayaschitta. You go back and do that prayaschitta. This is delusion. All this is delusion because the notion that I am the doer. Second is bhoktrutva. Bhoktru means experiencer. Experiencing what? Experiencing what? All human experiences boils down to the fundamental pair. All human experiences boils down to the fundamental pair. What is the fundamental pair? The fundamental pair of sukha, dukkha. All human experiences boils down to the fundamental pair. What is the fundamental pair? Sukha and dukkha. So, the bhokta in you drives the karta to do something so that he can get sukha. The bhokta in you drives the karta not to do something. Are you able to follow? Karta says to the bhokta, don't drive me all that, for I am helpless. Karta says, I am helpless. Karta tells the bhokta, don't drive me, I am helpless. Why I am helpless? Because karta is driven by vasanas, about which he is, over which he is helpless. Nothing changes, no. How much ever you hear, how much ever you try to practice, nothing seems to be changing. No? Why? Because as a karta, the vasanas are so, you are so much bound by the vasanas. Where is the freedom then? Where is freedom then? Freedom is not freedom. Freedom lies through knowledge. What is the knowledge? The knowledge that you are not the karta. You say you are not the karta, you are free from the karta. When you are free from the karta, means you are free from the vasanas. This is how knowledge alone brings about liberation. Knowledge alone brings about liberation. But sir, we have heard so much. But why are we not yet liberated? Yeah. We have having heard so much. Why are we not yet liberated? Because not enough manana has been done. Not enough work has been done to. That's why. Also, it will not happen. Also, it will not happen immediately, instantly. For we do not know the amount of backlog. We do not know the amount of backlog. Therefore, what is he says? Atmano vikriya nasti buddher bodho na jatviti jivas sarvamalam nyatva nyate drashteti nyata drashteti muhyati. Atmano vikriya nasti buddher bodho na jatviti jivas sarvamalam nyatva nyate drashteti muhyati. Atman does not undergo modification. Intellect is never endowed with knowledge, and individual here jiva. That's why he uses the word jiva, individual. The individual, the jiva, not having known it at all, not having understood this at all, becomes deluded with notions of I am the seer, I am doer. What is the seer and doer means? Kartrutva and bhoktrutva. Kartrutva and bhoktrutva is karta and bhokta. Karta means doer, bhokta means experiencer. Experiencing what? Experiencing the consequences of the doing. Are you okay till now? Okay. The eyes see, that is the doing. What is the doing? The eyes see, good, bad, indifferent. The mouth speaks, good, bad, indifferent. Yeah, good words, bad words, useless words, useful words, cursing words, all that. The mind experiences emotions. So, the action of the senses is to perceive. The action of the organs of action is to act. The action of the mind is to feel. The action of the intellect is to know, think, know, understand. All these instruments, these variety of instruments doing their respective actions because of the enlivening factor behind it. And the enlivening factor behind it cannot be known by the enlivening factor cannot be known by that which is by that the enlivened. What is enlivened? Enlivened is the senses, the mind, the intellect is the enlivened. The enlivened cannot know the enlivener. The enlivened cannot know the enlivener, meaning through the body, mind and intellect, you can never know the Atman. By disassociating from it, you can say, I am not the seer. I am not the doer. I am not the feeler. I am not the knower. I am not the knower as in the level of the intellect. Then who am I? Then who am I? The Mahavakya helps. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. The Mahavakya helps. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. This Atman is Brahman. This Atman is Brahman. This Atman is Brahman. Out of delusion, he says, I am the doer. Whereas you are not the doer. So freedom is not freedom from the doing. Everybody wants freedom from the doing. Vedanta says freedom is from the doer. Everybody wants freedom from action. I want to be free, sir. I want to be free. What is freedom? Freedom is not from the doing. Freedom is from the doer. Everybody misunderstands and they think freedom means freedom from doing. So, Atma Bodha, Vedanta, the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, they say freedom is not freedom from doing, freedom from the doer. And the doer is the superimposition upon, and the doer is the superimposition upon the real self. This is verse number 26. With this, we conclude for today. Next week, we continue with verse number 27 onwards.